Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project365, episode 145. Today we're talking about surviving the office. It's Monday, we're all back into work. A lot of us are going to be sitting in chairs for 6 to 8 hours. It's the unfortunate part of technology. It has brought the world to our fingertips, but as I like to say, it has not made us stand up, right? So here's what happens. We sit down in a chair for long periods of time, even if we sit with really good posture, right? What tends to happen, computer workers or anybody else, it tends to kind of start failing on us, right? And we get this caving down of the thoracic cage, right? What then happens is the core shuts off, diaphragm stops turning on, stops dropping down, right? And we start accessory breathing, all these things that start happening. But what happens also, we're going to talk lower extremity today, or lower torso today. What also happens is the hips are set in a shortened position for long periods of time, right? So we're going to talk about lower cross syndrome, or what we refer to as lower cross syndrome. And that is when the core turns off, diaphragm stops dropping down. The glutes are stretched, and therefore we say that they're inactivated or weakened. They're not necessarily weakened, but they're turned off. So glutes are turned off. Core is unactivated, right? But then what becomes tight? Quads become tight, low back becomes tight. We should actually say hip flexors become tight, low back becomes tight. So the cross is tight, tight, inactive, inactive. Does that make sense? That's why they call it lower cross syndrome. So what do we do to survive the office? How do we prevent this, or how do we at least kind of defend against it? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump right up into our chair stretch, just like such, like we've showed so many other times, right? A knee comes down to the back of the chair, foot comes up to the back of the chair. We're just going to keep ourselds upright, and we're going to get that hip in a nice extended position, really try to hit terminal extension. And we're just going to work into that very gently, right? 3 to 5 seconds, hold, and relax. It's not necessarily post-workout stretching. We're just trying to get in there and get a little bit of mobility in there throughout the day. Once we do both legs with that, right? Next thing that we're going to do is try to get onto our back somehow. Not everybody carries a foam roller in their office. I'm lucky enough that I have one. But if I do, I'm just going to jump on, and I'm just going to roll out my back just a little bit, right? Nice, broad, rolling strokes. And once I've done that, I've treated the tight and the tight. Now, how do I work at activating the inactive two tissues? Remember, we said that is the core, diaphragm stops dropping down, right? And the glutes. Well, here's how we do it. We're going to do a combination of a bridge with the diaphragmatic breath. So we set up into a regular bridge position, which is here. Heels are about a grip or so away from our butt, right? We start out with a diaphragmatic breath. It looks like this. We're going to breathe out, filling up our stomach. Like such, allowing the diaphragm to drop down. We're actually going to think about pushing it down as our stomach fills up, right? Once we do that, we blow out, or allow it to relax out, and then we're going to come up into our bridge. So we're going to push the small bar back to the ground, squeeze through the glutes, drive through the heels, and kind of come up, right? Once we do that, we'll hold for 3 to 5 seconds, 3 seconds, come back down. So the cycle looks like this. One diaphragmatic breath, one bridge, one diaphragmatic breath, one bridge, and back down. So that's a quick little way that we can express all those things that we just talked about, where we have tight, where we have tight hip flexors, tight low back, inactive core, inactive glutes. 3 little exercises, 1 little routine. You can do it when you get home, kind of help fight against sitting in those chairs for 6 to 8 hours a day. Guys, until tomorrow, we're optimizing function to optimize performance.